let's take a look back. It is 2020 and Donald Trump is looking for a re-election. There were 4 other Republican nominees in the running, but we won't be surprised if you don't remember who they were, because all you could see was Donald J. Trump. He received over 18 million votes in the primary, the most ever for an incumbent president in a primary. Cut to 2023, the US presidential election is 17 months away and the red race is already getting crowded. The most obvious name and the front runner is Donald Trump. He will be 77 years old while running for office, and this is his 3rd bid for the White House. Next in line is the latest one to throw his hat. Former Vice President Mike Pence is taking on his ex-boss. And during the speech launching his 2024 campaign, his target was undeterred. Pence blamed Donald Trump of being unfaithful to the US Constitution and of abandoning conservative values.
As I've said many times, on that fateful day, President Trump's words were reckless. They endangered my family and everyone at the Capitol. But the American people deserve to know that on that day, President Trump also demanded that I choose between him and the Constitution. Now voters will be faced with the same choice. I chose the Constitution, and I always will.
Coming to Ron DeSantis, he is currently the Florida governor. He has emerged as a favorite among the Republican base. He's using his anti-LGBTQ stance and pro-gun laws to sway voters in Florida. He is expected to take a similar line of campaigning during his national campaigning. He has distanced himself from Trump's version of conservatism and doubling down on Trump's populist America First agenda.
Our country is going in the wrong direction. I think we all see it. I think we feel it. Is anybody happy with having an open southern border where drugs are pouring in and killing millions of Americans? Is anybody happy with economic policies that are causing costs to rise and the value of our dollar to decline by almost 20% in the last 4 or 5 years alone?
Some other candidates are Nikki Haley, a former governor of South Carolina. She is a daughter of Indian immigrants. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott is another one. He's the only African-American Republican in the US Senate, often stresses that the US is not a racist country. And former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. He is a former close associate of Trump.
What all that spending does to the average person.
These are some big political figures entering the red race. They come with their own religious bases. So it will be complicated how the Republican National Convention is. But the experts say all this noise could work in Donald Trump's favor. One of the major strategies of nominees like Mike Pence and Ron DeSantis are to deliver anti-Trump speeches. So far, Nikki Haley has been subtle with her jibe at Trump and his policies. In case they are successful enough to convince voters with their rhetoric, it might backfire because the votes will get distributed among them, making Trump the winner. For more on this, we earlier spoke to Dr. Christina Iona Dragomir, a political analyst and commentator from New York. Listen in to what she had to say.
Election seems to never end in the United States, also because it's big money, and also it's because it's quite entertaining for the electorate and beyond. But this being said, why is this going on right now with so many candidates coming in? You have to acknowledge the fact that these candidates are also raising to national awareness when they are throwing their hat in the ring. So people like Tim Scott, for example, that otherwise people will not know, even Nikki Haley, are not very well known. So they are gaining a lot of prominence right now. But also what we see is that because Donald Trump is still the main candidate, very powerful, we see a lot of people throwing jabs at Donald Trump. So we see a lot of fights going on between all these candidates and Donald Trump himself.